All right. Hey, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I just want to give a shout out to William. He sent me this 164 windshield wipers little package of 12 sets of windshield wipers. You can see it's got, these are a little bit longer than these. And they come, they're metal. And this is BND custom parts, and so you know what you can see the number there. So if you're looking to make some 164s that have the windshield wipers, this might be something that you could use. I've been using the the staples that I've trimmed to length and painted black so that they would look on there, and so just wanted to show these to you. So what I'm going to do now is they come as a metal, right? And so what I'm going to do is just paint them black, because that's what they are, right? So this has like a little plastic covering on the front and back, and so what I'm just gonna paint these, and then when I need them, I'll bust them out. Looks like they're fastened in here on both sides, so they'd probably just get like a little X-Acto knife and cut them off. So, but yeah, thanks, William. That was very nice of you. Appreciate you thinking of me, and trying to maybe make something that I'm doing a little bit better. Looks like there's different styles, so these are going left and right, either side. These look like they're kind of a little bit of a different style from time to time, or from one to one. Probably can use either of them. These are a little bit shorter, so I'll just paint these and have them ready for whenever I do my next one. Whether it be, and actually, if you notice, they've been running more cars with the windshield wipers because of the Roval. They have rain tires ready to go in case there's rain. They can run in the rain. They do that at the road courses at Sonoma and Watkins Glen. So they've been running whenever they have a chance to run rain tires. They have a windshield wiper, usually just one, right across there. So all right, so that's that, and I'll just kind of set that aside for when I go to make my next one with wipers. So yeah, thanks, William. Appreciate that. What I've got in the water are these Pennzoil Platinum Joey Logano decals from 2015 when he drove this very interesting. Normally you see Joey Logano in that yellow and red shell car, but here it's a blue with black and kind of an off blue paint color. So if you're a Logano fan or even a Penske fan, it's rare to see this type of paint scheme. And of course Lionel didn't produce it, so got a couple people looking for this paint scheme. So I paint it with the Rust-Oleum Oasis blue, which is a satin finish, and before I put the decals on, you can see I've glossed it up. So I put a coat of clear sealer on it, because that satin finish, it's nice, but it's not very glossy. And it just looks better with the decals going on a glossy surface than a matte or a satin finish. So come up a little bit, and then I'll pull you down. Or I will try to pull you down. I have to be honest, guys, I was never really a Joey Logano fan. Never really a fan of his. I'm a Ford guy, and you know, he was with Joe Gibbs, and I guess, you know, didn't produce quick enough for Joe Gibbs in the 20 car as a replacement for Tony Stewart, and they let him go, and now he's a Ford guy. And I don't know, he seems like a nice guy, but I just never really was a fan of his. And then, of course, you know, 2015 came along, and he and Kenseth had that, you know, tussle. And that was not, you know, I just, at that point, you know, I was never going to be a Logano fan. And if you remember that year in that playoff system, I think it's Kansas, right? Logano had won the previous race, and so he was locked in to the next round of the playoffs. And at the Kansas race, Logano and Kenseth had good cars, and Kenseth was in the lead. Logano probably had the better car. But Kenseth was in the lead late. And, of course, Kenseth needed to win to move on in the playoffs. And Logano, he had already secured his spot. And so, as the race wound down, with Logano catching Matt towards the end of the race, Matt was blocking him. You know, Matt was trying to stay in front. And lo and behold, Logano took him out. And, you know, I was so mad, you know. You know, like, hey, you know, he's blocking you, yeah, but pass him somewhere else. You know, try to pass him somewhere else and pass him clean. But regardless, he took him out. And then it was kind of on from that point on, right? You know, Matt wasn't able to advance, and then Logano was having a good race at Martinsville, and a couple races later, you know, they say drivers never forget. And Matt just dumped him. Oh my gosh, he just dumped him. Got suspended, of course. But I have to admit, guys, I was never more excited to be a Kenseth fan when I saw him dump Logano. You know, that race, Matt was racing him clean the whole race, and Keselowski too. And yeah, I'm rehashing a race from 6 years ago, you know. But yeah, I I remember that race, and Matt was getting the short end of the stick, and then, you know, Keselowski was bumping him and ended up, you know, spinning him out and sending him into the wall, and Matt just was like, hey, I'm getting ganged up on here by these Penske drivers, and now's my time to exact revenge on Logano. And he did so in classic fashion with his car that had no hood. And oh yeah, what was Logano thinking, that Matt was going to let him go? And oh yeah, that, guys, I don't know, that was awesome. That was awesome. And the whole crowd was cheering like crazy when Matt wrecked him. Kenseth gained a lot of fans that day, or at least a lot of respect. Yeah. So anyways, long story short, I'm not a Logano fan. I don't dislike the guy, but not a fan. So all right, let's get this on here. Come on. Yeah, so the little trunk pins are kind of prominent here, so I'm gonna make sure I push that down over top of them. Probably get some microsole on there. So I like to have them stick through this decal, so you can see them pretty well. Okay, where are you? Alrighty. Okay, where'd that come from? What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know where that came from. I'll have to watch this video and find out if that was in the microsole or if that was somewhere else, but that was interesting. A little piece of paper or something backing appear from anywhere. Okay. You can see how I like to paint the spoiler before I put this piece on, right? So you can see how that the microsole helps the decal soften up and conform around those little protrusions for the trunk pins. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this trunk piece on. Normally I would, cut this out, but I have this this white stripe that comes through here, and if you saw, this bumper is really recessed here in the center on these fusions, and so yeah, it's just not ideal. Normally I'd like to separate that decal out and put it in there, let it recess in there nicely, but we'll try to get it to recess in there as best as we can. Press that in there. Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys, I have a cousin, and I didn't really remember this too much when I was growing up, but my uncle, my cousin's father, who was my dad's father, or my dad's brother, sorry, he was big into model trains, and apparently, he passed away a few years back, but apparently all of the trains went to my one cousin. And I found out that he has some massive, like, storage area building that he has kind of turned into a train park. And so it's just interesting, right? So I was never really into trains. My brother, my dad were a little bit. But it's just interesting how, as adults, you know, having these hobbies, I didn't really think that he would have that hobby. He's a different kind of guy, but lo and behold, you know, he's got a massive train collection. And it's just interesting, you know, how, you know, we as adults are really, you know, kind of just kids at heart, you know. And it's fun to have these types of hobbies. But I'm going to try to, I mean, next time we're up in the area, I'm going to try to get over to see his train set collection and all of his dioramas and stuff, and maybe do a video up there, share it with you guys. We'll see. But, alright, that's not too bad. You can see just from the shadow, right, from the light, how recessed that is back there. Okay. All right, so now we have a few pieces that I've kind of cut up and split up, so I can easily put them on. This actually goes between those pins, but it's too big, so I'll kind of put it right above it, I guess, like that. And this kind of sits right off of the hood. I think ideally it would touch here and the hood, but it doesn't. So I think I'll just pull it down a little bit. So it kind of comes like that. I don't know. So it looks like it's coming off of the grill there. Like so. Like I said, ideally it would be, you know, longer, so it would connect into where the hood is, but oh well. Got fuzzy or something there. Speaking of fuzzies, I had my daughter down here the other day, And I was showing her just, just saying, hey, these are some of the cars I've been making, and her birthday's coming up, so I told her, I said, hey, I'll let you pick a car that I'm going to sell on eBay as an auction, and I'll give you the proceeds for that car. And so I was showing her a couple different cars, and she's like, Dad, this one has this fuzzy here, and it has this mark here, and this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so she's now critiquing my work. And so, I thought that was funny. And I'm like, hey, I don't remember seeing that. And she's like, Dad, it's right here. I was like, oh. So she's maybe, I might have to employ her as a quality control specialist or something. So, yeah. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I wasn't sure how this would line up and if my platinum is going to touch into that shell decal. You know what? I might move that shell decal below these hood pins. Maybe I should do that instead of putting it above. I just got to be careful that when you try to lift these really small decals, sometimes they will rip. So I got to be super careful here. Yeah, I probably should have put these bigger pieces on and then figure out where I want to put this shell. So how about I do it like that? And then I can bring this down just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Make sure it's straight. Yeah. Okay. I think that's probably the best that I can get. Again, ideally these hood pins would be a little bit further apart so I could slide that right in between there. But I'd rather have it below. I slid that. I'd rather have it below than on top of those hood pins. Okay. Make sure that's seated in there. Okay. All right, so that's that. I will continue working that, and I'll put these side pieces on. You can see kind of how I cut them out, right? So this is all. I'll probably trim this out a little bit more, right? Trim these pieces a little bit. There's a white SKF I got to be careful with, and I can put this back here, and then maybe I cut it right here and put this long piece along the side there, and then I have this now kind of trimmed out. So I'll cut probably right along here and make this two pieces. So I can put that in place there. I'll do that because not all the time is this a nice sized piece to keep it together as one. So it's just, it's just easier to separate that out. And actually, maybe I could leave it together. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, maybe I could leave it together this time. Yeah. So get that going. And yeah, on this one I want to cut this SKF out separately because it just kind of protrudes out away from that. And this way I can put it exactly where I need to put it. And then, yeah, I'll trim like so. know that this needs to fold around the spoiler. So okay. Okay. And then let's see. This is where it's hard, right? You got white decal, white lettering. I don't want to trim it and cut off that white lettering, but I don't want to have too much extra around it, so I think that'll work. And then same thing here. It's showing you a little bit extra of the trimming of these decals before I get them in the water. Alright, yep. Always in pursuit of the perfect 164 NASCAR custom die cast, guys. Trying to have the best possible product I can have. For sure, in case there's a little bit of folding I need to do, I like to put a little cut there and a little cut here. And we'll get that in the water. I just finished putting the stickers on this Mountain Dew Whiteout Chase Elliott. So you can see, right? You can see the stickers. See them? See them? You can see the lines, especially on the side, right? Like right here. See that? And then when you compare that to, let's say, something like this, right? This is the water slide. You just don't have the same, right? This to me is more of a better kind of painted on finish. It's not, doesn't have that raised surface like that has, right? Just looking at these back fenders, see that? And that. Try to get the lighting just right, but see that? Because this, you know, the water slide decal is much thinner, and you know, it's kind of paper thin, whereas this is just, you know, just a little thicker, where you can see that transition. All right, guys, God bless. We'll talk to you soon.